a lot of these models and instead make an engine that can shift how we live in society. And we created a new type of cooperative, and a cooperative means it's generally a legal financial structure, but it doesn't have to be structured a particular legal way. That's how it operates, where every member has a say in the governance, every member has economic participation. There are other cooperative principles like cooperation among co-ops. So we formed a new type of cooperative, mutual aid networks, and the mission is to create means for everyone to discover and succeed in work they want to do with the support of their community. And recognizing work as all work is valuable, whether it's simply taking care of someone in your own family to anything else. And then we created a global cooperative, and you are all invited to join, Humans United in Mutual Aid Networks. So in the video, it refers to it as the main man, but we got really sick of the main man kind of vibe in my country a while ago, so we changed it to Humans United in Mutual Aid Networks. And the way it works, I'll skip over this, but you might recognize this. So this actually kind of maps to some of your moral modalities frameworks, I think, especially with the five different fundamental types of work. Our dominant economy only generally recognizes and values the productive work that we do to earn money, feed our families. So what we do is we make the whole mutual aid network, we steward these different resources, and then we have the social processes to really create opportunities for people to come together and do interesting things. And I just need to skip ahead. So in my country right now, who here has heard of the current United States president? It was very nice. I'm really glad I don't see many hands. That's part of the problem. So right now in the United States, everything is all about deregulation and giving total control to corporations. Well, we're a form of corporation. We can be a private sector cooperative competitor going head to head. And that's what we aim to do. And that's why I called this superversive strategies. There's no official definition for superversive, but I'm sure you know the word subversive. Does anyone want to take a crack at what superversive means to you? What superversive means? Yeah, building a system and also incorporating the old system and building a system that can transcend everything. And doing it with a lot of transparency and a lot of intentionality. So the way I have been seeing things for a long time is in so many ways through trade agreements, through people being held hostage to a job in order to eat, live, have health insurance. There's always an economic trump card, there's always an economic end run around democracy and sovereignty. So we realized by playing a smarter game, we can do an economic end run around that. For example, our government is now allowing every pipeline that wants to be built through the country. However, if people are no longer purchasing fossil fuels, there's no incentive for those pipelines to be built. So we're very serious about moving very quickly and having communities of people come together around common goals and make things happen. A lot of mutual aid networks right now that are developing are around doing weatherization, energy conservation projects, and then installing decentralized renewable energy sources, for example. So that's a way we can make an economic end run around all the deregulation of fossil fuels. I'm very interested in making an economic end run around the US prison industrial complex. So we wrote a paper and we share it off our website, and I built on it for the paper I submitted here, so you're welcome to read it. But the paper we presented is the creative destruction of the US prison industrial complex. We can do it. Recognizing that our country's economy is completely built on slavery and exploited labor and stolen land, and the slavery continues through the prison industrial complex. It's just the 13th Amendment that abolished slavery had a loophole that allows for prison labor. So you can have uncompensated labor as prison labor, and a lot of people who were slaves, then the vagrancy laws were passed, so it was illegal for it was illegal for people to not be working, and black people weren't hired. So immediately they were swept up and put into chain gangs and put into prison labor. So a lot of our country is based on that. And in order to end the prison industrial complex, we have to make an economy that competes with that. So we've laid out in the paper how the Dane County Time Bank Youth Court, which is now operating in all of the high schools, plus a few community locations, our city police department is now referring every youth who gets into trouble with the police to restorative justice programs. So we're making some system change real. Now we're gonna take it further into the mutual aid network context, which means what we're gonna be doing is working with all of the people, the young people and the law enforcement people to start spinning up enterprises that can be more generative. In the video, we mentioned maker spaces. Who here is familiar with maker spaces? So they're really big in the United States right now, and it's a public space where there'll be equipment, a lot of times manufacturing equipment or technological equipment, 3D printing, to make very decentralized manufacturing possible and make it easy to spin up enterprises. So our next step in creating a mutual aid network that can get farther toward this is we're gonna start working with young people in 4 cities, Jackson, Mississippi, Detroit, Michigan, Madison, Wisconsin, and St. Louis, and teach young people from our youth court pool how to do the kind of coding and software development that we need to support these economic activities that we're doing. They'll give back coding to their local community for time credits or sharing it into the commons, and then they also have a skill they can go out and sell. We can start using that to develop enterprise, to develop more and more democratic wealth-generating opportunities. So just coming to the Buckminster Fuller quote, you never change things by fighting the existing reality. To change something, build a new model that makes the existing model obsolete. And we know that we can. Just like little seedlings bursting through the concrete, taking over. This happens to be the mall that I used to go to growing up. It's a beautiful sight to see plants taking over it. We currently have 7 pilot sites around the world, 5 in the United States, 1 in South Africa, 1 in Hull, UK, and then a bunch emerging in New Zealand. But we have people who want to be doing this in Berlin, Croatia, Belgium, France, India, the Indigenous Food Sovereignty Network in Vancouver, South Korea, and we expect to have a pilot site on every continent by the end of the year, and we are connected in a big network of learning and sharing and exchange. So through the humans, we exchange material resources, learning, knowledge, ability to fail fast and learn from it and improve. So that's pretty much it, and no, it's not it. What we see ourselves doing is creating ways that we can hire each other to build the new economy and build the new world that we want to live in. You are the perfect people to participate in that. So I would love to invite you to join us, and now it's time for questions or discussion. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Stephanie. Question time?
Can you say something about the legal structure of humans?
Yes.
And the risk of actually being wiped out by the political system, and also about the IT infrastructure?
So the legal structure is we are a cooperative incorporated in Wisconsin, where I live, which has really excellent cooperative law, and we're open for global membership. Any mutual aid network can have any kind of legal structure as long as it fits within the core principles, which means you need to have democratic governance, et cetera. The IT infrastructure, we're using an open source platform programmed by someone who's here, Sybille Saint-Jeroen. It's called Weezer. We call it the Mutual Aid Platform. It has a whole marketplace like any time bank or other currency system. You can do any form of exchange, any form of mutual credit. You can exchange money through PayPal. It's linked with PayPal. It also has project management tools. So one thing that's very beautiful about it is we can see how in the not too distant future we can just be doing the work we want to do in the world and see our accounts filling up with the kinds of credits that we need. And you had one more question? No, okay. And I'm gonna pass around an email list. I'm just gonna ask you to write legibly, or you can go and sign up yourself, but I forget where I put it. I'll wait, I just don't know where I put it now. Sorry.
Well, if I look at that, the one thing that springs to mind is maybe you could create a digital nation. Actually, just become your own digital nation that is spread across the world, and create your own legal structure within it.
Yeah, that's interesting. We actually are very likely to start a church soon.
Yeah.
Is one way to.
Yeah, yeah. Just
Okay.
this one thing. One thing you could, if you're, I'm a electronic resident of Estonia. Although I'm a Belgian. I became an electronic resident of Estonia because I thought it was cool, to be really honest. But the idea is interesting.
I'll respond after.
Yeah, it was a small point, but I was interested. I hope I've got this right. When you were talking about the youth and the restorative justice, people pay for education and go into debt for education. But I think that in the restorative justice, that they were being paid to do the time to learn stuff. Is that correct?
It depends. Actually, in the restorative justice, if they get sentenced to learn stuff, they don't. It's their obligation. It's how they're paying back whatever sort of debt for getting into trouble. And to your point about the nation, we are. It's quite likely we'll create a church, and that's a way to have a global legal infrastructure and the political, legal, financial advantages that churches have that I don't believe they should have. And ways, especially in the United States, it's becoming increasingly important for people to have access to sanctuary because more people are being persecuted. And the church came out of a discussion of how we can create real networks that can really provide sanctuary, and clergy, doctors, and lawyers are all really important roles for that. So that was actually the way I came up with the idea of superversive strategies is when we first thought of the church. The Church of Humans, so watch for it. And please join and tithe.
Thanks.
I realize that churches have a very broad definition and understanding in the States. I think in much